Okay, so hello, this is last 16, and we're live again. This time with the Europa Universalis 4. And as usual, tell me if everything works fine as for the video. If there's any technical issue with it. And other than that, let's resume this campaign. So essentially, I did play a little last night, so there's a little change compared to where we left off yesterday, but nothing major. So for example, here we have Korea, and I started colonizing North America a little, but I'm kind of slow, so I'm thinking about stopping colonizing. So I started colonizing that region over there, Oceania, and I have a few colonies here, but other than that, not much happened. Actually, I ended up with 3 wars against Russia, or his ally, and the result was that I was extremely crushed by my enemies, so it was a horrible experience. My troops are just not up to it. Other than that, I guess we'll simply continue this and take it easy. I think I will mostly be developing my empire at the beginning. Other than that, we should be fine. What I'm thinking about is probably conquering Japan, but it might be tricky. I'm not sure about that. Because my problem is that all other nations around here are allied with Russia. And Russia are really scary. The Ming are on my side though, but they have bad armies. My issue is mostly that right now, even though I have a pretty good manpower, only 4 units of Russian troops can beat 40 units of my own army. And I don't really explain the difference. Maybe they are way too advanced in terms of technology, but it's kind of annoying. So if Russia want to completely annex me, they probably can. So this is really a kind of game where it doesn't matter how big your empire is, anybody can come and completely ruin it if they want to. Fortunately, each time we ended up in a war, they were just they were not wanting any territory, so that was fine. So I did not lose anything from them yet. Other than some money and some glory. Another change that happened in my empire was the fact that I'm now Buddhist. I don't know how that happened, but as it's probably my king, which somehow was Buddhist. Or maybe that has to do with the modernization or the westernization of my empire, which I did earlier. So I'm building some manufacture. Which provide me some goods to trade around. as you can see in that region, Russia is really gaining ground. They took a lot of territory from the horde over here. And now my problem is that that horde is now allied with Russia. So I cannot take more of their territory. And they are being protected by Russia. So, and there's also many other factions which are protected by Russia somehow. So I'm thinking my only solution is probably to be friendly to Russia now. So I should probably improve relationship with them. But I think my problem right now is the fact that I lag behind in terms of military technology, because if you look at it, even the Ming dynasty is more technological than me. They have 19 into military technology, while I have probably 18, and Russian have 23, so they are way ahead. I will offer Russia to finance their war. That might help a little the relation. I think right now the only place where I might have a chance to conquer land on already established territory is probably Japan. But they are more technological. No, they are equally equal to me in terms of their technology. So I might have a chance. And I have a pretty large manpower. It's just that what will be tricky will be to go across that ocean. So I need a big fleet. Also need to find a few places to perhaps establish new colonies. For example, here might be a good idea. Or here. The thing is that I need to colonize well before other people do. I have a few colonies here. So like here and here. But Europeans are really fast at colonizing everything. Also need to reduce my inflation right now. Because that will make everything more expensive and I don't want that. Well, those Europeans are really fast at colonizing stuff. I wanted to send some colonists over there, but they already did it. Well, that kind of colony will be very far from my mainland. I just hope my fleet won't suffer too much damage from going over there. so I should be able to colonize that place. Problem with having a big colonial empire is that you have to defend it all. I'm not sure I'm able to do that. Textile manufacturer, that might be pretty good for trading stuff. So I'm slowly colonizing America. Not sure what for though. I should probably improve my defense over there. Seems that I have suppressed an uprising over there. Native uprising. My army is really good at defeating the small guy, but the big guys, not really. The risk I'm facing is if I spread too much, it will be impossible to defend the place. Well, China still has a chance, but they are divided into two. But the thing is that Asian countries in this game are so... well, I don't know if it's really depending on how well you play, but you seem to have a pretty dramatic technological impairment. So it's kind of hard. So for example, those Russian here, 23 military technology, not even close to that. I have 17, so they really are crushing me if I end up in battle. We'll have to be much better in diplomacy, I guess, to achieve anything. Seem to have a few revolt to take care of. I don't think I actually have an army. My country is not particularly stable right now. I guess I will have to take care of that. That money sound is starting to remind me of Majesty. It's like there was always that money sound of your heroes buying stuff or selling stuff. So what do you guys think about this game so far? Any opinion? Does it seem interesting, boring, complex, too easy, amazing? The game you dreamt of all your life? And this is actually interesting to watch, because that's a big question I have. Because this kind of game, there's not much going on, it's not spectacular, it's all up to a certain point something which happened in your mind, and if you're watching a video of this, do you understand what I'm doing? I'm not sure. Am I transmitting what I'm doing well? For example, right now I'm building an army. It's pretty straightforward. Now this do want to be ally with me, but I think they only bring trouble. I won't do that. I think my king is actually leading the army in this case. What do you find complicated about it? Is it the fact that there's too many buttons, too many stats? What's complicated about it? There's too much to learn from. Too many interrelation, which might be a little scary. The thing is that I don't think this game is that complicated. It's mostly it's scary at first because there's all those stats which you have no clue what it's about, and there's many buttons all over the interface. But it's not that complicated. It's fairly simple once you understand what everything does. It's just a matter of taking your time to learn it. Now the other aspect that you need to take into consideration is that being defeated is part of this game, so it's totally normal if that happened to you. I think here, this is, when you click on the shield here, that's the main place where you manage your empire. That is probably the most important part. So here you assign different advisor, and these advisor provide you administrative power and that kind of power. So they give you bonus, but some advisor cost more than other, and as a result of this you end up having to balance out how much they cost you economically. So sometimes having the best advisor might not be the best option for your empire. So here, this interface mostly gives you a clue about what's going on here and the advisor, but this is something which just increase the administrative power, diplomacy power, military power, and that stuff you use it for different purpose, but it's mostly for technology. Then here you have diplomacy, which you usually mostly rely on by clicking on the country you want to do something with, and usually the most useful part is to improve your relation. And for this you have, for example, here I have 3 diplomat, which is useful, I suppose. But it's all about improving your relation, making alliance. So it's pretty simple. You can have here for convert action, you can actually fabricate claim, and with those claim you're able to have a good argument for war, for example. It allows you to have an argument to start a war, both for your population and for the world. It's like, oh look, that piece of land, it's mine now. So that's what a claim is. So diplomacy is probably the main focus of this particular game, because you cannot really start a war without having proper justification. You cannot turn and say to your ally, well, too bad for you, now we're at war. Well, actually you can, but it's not really... usually you won't gain much from that. Then economic, not much to do here. You can lower some maintenance cost and lower the inflation. The inflation is important to keep low, and you just click reduce inflation. And that costs you administrative power, but what the reason why it's important is that inflation make everything cost more, so that means that you need more money to buy stuff you need. So you don't want the inflation to be too high. And of course, the more inflation you have on the long run, the more you will have to pay. So this is something you need to address as fast as possible. Oh, there's a revolt in America. I will take care of that. Hopefully. If we resume the tour here, yes, here you have take loan, so you can get some more money. And you can repay the loan, which is something you should do. The best thing ever is to never have to get loans, because that stuff improves your inflation usually, and you also have to pay it back, as well as you have to deal with the what's it called? Interest rate. So that's something that you need to be careful with. If you go into debt, just don't overdo it. Oh, that's a battle where we'll likely lose too few troops. I guess I will increase the size of my colonial army over there. There we go. That should be much better. Okay, then let's go into trade. Here essentially what you do is you just sort by value, and you send your trader where the price is the best, and that's how you make money. For the rest, I'm not sure there's much interest in taking giving interest to all that stuff. Sure, there is an interest, but you know, you can live without taking a look at it. Technologies with, well, essentially the way it works is that you click the button when these number right here are high enough, and usually you have a notification that such thing can happen. So that's pretty simple. Then here, ideas. Essentially these are bonus. So you simply click the button when it's available. Once again, it's related to those power up there. Now you can end up choosing different orientation for your ideas, and I guess it's useful to diversify the kind of power that each idea will rely on to. This way, it will allow you to potentially have bonus much faster. Okay, then mission. Well, these are missions for your empire. This is pretty well, it's useful because it gives you some prestige, but there's not that much importance to it. It's you can live without taking a look at that if you want, but sometimes there's some aspect which give you bonus that can be useful. Now here, that's your stability and expansion. That's useful. Here you need to keep your stability high. For example, right now I'm into the negative, which is really bad. So I need to fix that, and when that will be fixed, there will be less chance of revolt. As you can see right now here, there's multiple potential revolt, which all want to kick me out of power. And that's because of my stability, so I need to resolve that. Cannot tolerate people that don't like my government. Okay, let me check what's going on here. Here I'm merging my armies so that they become combat effective, hopefully. I guess I want to increase the number of troops here. Yeah, actually, my trading is very oriented toward that place. You can see that Netherlands are really friendly to me in terms of making money together. So here we'll try to defeat those rebels. Okay, now let's continue with the tour. Okay, well, rebellion. I think this is mostly about boosting the stability. The higher it is, the better. Here you can make core of some province. That will increase the stability. And also that will make it easier for you to conserve the province, I suppose, or take it back if you lose it. Okay, then here, war exhaustion. Well, you can reduce it using what? Well, usually when there's a war, you end up having exhaustion, so you click that button. I'm not sure what it consumes, actually. But that can be a good idea to click that, I suppose. Then religion. Religion, here you simply have a list of stuff. And you have here one missionary. And this guy will convert the people to the religion of your king, I suppose. My troops were defeated, really? What a bunch of incompetent. Anyway. Then military. Well, military, you can hire multiple leaders. I can see here I can actually hire 3 generals. And here you can click those buttons and change to the type of infantry you want. Yep. So let's see. But usually it's always the latest type of unit, which is the best one. So I think these tabs are pretty much all you need to know how to manage your empire. Everything is there. Now, as for the rest, usually it's just a matter of reading that stuff. Tells you the bonus you get. It's like, for example, my stability right now is negative, which is really bad. Need to fix that. My prestige is really terrible as well. But I'm not too sure how to increase my prestige other than winning wars, conquering territory, winning battles, that kind of stuff. But my prestige is really low. So it's not going too well there. Legitimacy. Not sure how to increase that. Oh, you need to marry stuff. Anyway, it's your reason of being. So yeah, that's pretty much all this game is about. It's about maintaining a balance in all that stuff. It's a lot of number, but it's not that complicated to understand. Now here, when you click that button right here, you can build different buildings. Each buildings have different specialty, I suppose. But usually what happens is that it tells you that, oh look, if I build this building on that province, I will gain 0.98 money from it. So it's not really good to do that. It's not good enough. Well, here there's 1.32. Yeah, that's much better. So you can prioritize the best region like that. You build on the region which pay you the most. And of course, different buildings do different things, and each time it's a matter of just looking over the place to see what they do. And truly, this is all about accumulating money to build the building you need at the right moment. So if you realize that, oh look, my army really is bad, well, perhaps you should increase your manpower. Okay, now I do need to get rid of those rebel over there. Same here. I will hire a general for it. And hopefully it will be more competent than my prior general, which were terrible. Yeah, apparently my general are really bad. I suppose I should buy more troops there. Ah, they lost again? As well end up a pretty big army that I will have around there. Okay, so I appear to be at war with Burney, which I believe is here. Yep. So I guess I will have to bring an army here. So I will send my fleet back to Korea, where I will embark a couple of my troops. While here I will try to suppress that rebellion. Unfortunately, that faction doesn't seem to have too many allies. So that might make things a little easier. They might have a big fleet though. We'll need to be careful about that. I'm a very quiet man sometimes. It does happen. There's a bunch of rebellion in my territory. That's irritating. We'll have to suppress all this. It's time to go conquer back that territory here, so that we can keep our American colony. Oh, they have an army of 26. That's a lot. Whoa, fleet of 31. I'm thinking about building a bigger fleet now. I will need more transport for my troops because with that size of an army like they have, we'll need to bring potentially more troops at once. What happened there? Okay, good. I'm improving my stability, but that's not enough. Yeah, some game you don't really have much to say about anything anyway. It's like, some people are like, oh, you should comment on first-person shooter, and I'm not really commenting much, and it's like, what will I say? Well, I'm shooting that guy on the left and that guy on the right, and yeah, shooting the guy in the middle. That's a very deep comment. But this game, there's a lot to say about it, but it's just that it takes so long to do anything that you end up forgetting what you're talking about. You don't even remember what's your strategy. What's my grand plan in this? I don't know. Just wanted to make a big empire. By the time you reach your objective, you don't remember what it was. That's the charm of this game. Well, that's a good subject to talk about. How did I manage to do that with Korea? Very good question. Just a second. Okay, so essentially what I did is, first of all, Korea, you start with that amount of territory. So it's pretty small. Then you have the Manchurian, which are supposed historically to destroy the Ming dynasty, which are still there, by the way. And then you have a bunch of hordes here, which are expanding quickly sometime. So essentially what I did is that instead of ditching the Ming, I decided to be on their side and to use them to expand myself on the Manchurian. And once you manage to defeat the Manchurian, you end up with many province here, which are Siberia essentially. And as you can see, it's pretty hostile territory, but it's unclaimed territory. And as a result of this, developing your colonial power and specialty, you end up being able to expand on that territory. And as a result of this, I did manage to expand pretty far, all the way here. So using my colonial specialty or skill that I prioritized at the beginning, I ended up being able to colonize a pretty good portion of that region. And while those provinces might not be the most lucrative one to have, it's better than not have any more province. So I did manage to become a kind of proper empire. Now, one of the challenge early on was Japan, because Japan start all divided in multiple factions. But once they are unified, they turn their attention toward you. And as a result of this, I had a war with Japan, which I ended up winning out of attrition, probably. I think I lost every battle but won the war, because they ran out of men. Faster than me. So, the war against Japan kind of made me survive. Yeah, and I colonized the stuff around them, and I'm part of a coalition against Japan, which probably is keeping them at bay, so they don't attack me anymore. But it's clear that if you look at the relation of Japan with the rest of the world, they are pretty much centered on me. Well, actually, they don't even see me as a rival anymore. But yeah, I'm focusing on Japan just to isolate them, so they don't attack me, which seems to have worked so far. As for the rest, I ended up expanding my colonial empire around the place, so you can see that I have colonies all around here. A couple of islands on the way, just to use as a mean to go all the way to Africa. And I also have a few in the Pacific all the way down here, and I decided to colonize America as well. One of the issue with all this is that I end up being exposed on multiple fronts, which I don't believe I'll be able to defend, because previously you can see Russia is all the way here, and they ended up at war with me a few times, and I think 4 of their units can beat my entire army, whatever it is. So it's kind of shocking, but it's clear that right now I'm lagging behind in terms of military technology, while the Europeans are way ahead of me. Japan is pretty much equal to me in terms of military technology, so I might have a chance to invade them, but it's just that I'm not sure that I have the means to do much damage against them, so we'll see about that. Right now I'm at war with those guys down here. They seem to have a pretty big fleet, so that's something I will have to deal with. And I don't really have an army around. And I certainly don't have a fleet to bring them around. Also, right now I'm struggling with a bad internal stability, so that means that I have rebellion all over the place, which I need to eliminate as they pop up. I think I will split that army into 2. So this way I will be able to eliminate rebel faster. Well, here I have an army which I use to colonize the space and suppress the native, which is a necessity of an empire, I suppose. You know, oppress the weak and that kind of stuff. Because to be honest, I cannot fight any strong empire right now. I'm barely able to... I'm not sure I will be able to capture Japan. So... And I think right now in my empire, I'm mostly focused on keeping what I have already and not so much expanding. Also, my empire was westernized previously, so as a result of this, might affect the way my population behave. And I'm currently in the process of converting everybody to Buddhism instead of Confucianist. I don't remember how that happened though. But it's clear that at some point invading Japan will be a good idea. It's just that right now I'm not sure I have the means. Although I can probably raise a couple of armies. I don't. I have a lot of money fighting. Yeah, I do have a lot of money. It's just that right now, as you can see, there's revolt all over the place. Fortunately, each time it's pretty small revolt. But I will have to take care of Burney first. Unfortunately, I seem to have at least an ally somewhere, which seems to be fighting the enemy, but he doesn't seem to be winning. I'm taking back the territory I lost from those rebels. I even have a rebellion in my colonies. Somebody offer an alliance, I will accept that and hope that they will defeat my enemies for me. So I'm building a big fleet to transport a hopefully big army. Oh, they are actually advancing to warn me. I'm really having a lot of rebellion all over my empire right now. But what's good is that Bernie actually sent an enormous army here, which I hope they will stick around so I can defeat them. I will build an army here to send it on the province nearby there, which has a rebellion. Hopefully I will be able to build it pretty fast. While here I will reinforce that garrison with more troops. Here that should be strong enough. Do I have any more colonies around here? I'm not even sure what are my colonies in all this. For example, I have one here, so I will build a few troops just to protect it, or at least chase the rebels, if there's any. Yeah, apparently they defeated my army over there. What a surprise. How technological are these guys? 19. Okay, so this is equivalent to me, I think. Oh no, I have 17. Whoa, they are 2 level above my troops. Yeah, essentially these guys here are more technological than me. Now this army is retreating the other side of the world. I'll try to merge them with my other army, which is up there. So essentially, I guess my only strategy that I can use right now to defeat these guys is to waste an enormous amount of troops on them. That's unreasonable. Let's do that. Sorry about that. Anyway, I think I will have to waste a lot of troops. It'll be crazy. Those rebellions keep happening. The challenge will be to have that army of 48 actually beat an army of 37. And I'm not sure that will happen, actually. I'm just too far behind for technology. Might be that they have a lot of artillery, which I don't. Okay, let's try something. I will increase dramatically the amount of artillery I will produce. I finally managed to fix my stability. Hopefully that will make the rebellion less common. So my army actually fought and was defeated. What a surprise. Okay, so now I have much more artillery. Let's see how that perform. It's really amazing the pace at which they completely wipe out the morale of my army. I have minus 70 in the war. Clear, my army are really not up to the task. Are even getting defeated by rebels. Like, come on, what is this? I've decided to improve my military tradition. Let's hope that this will do a difference. Now let's try to defeat that enemy army again. It will likely be a defeat again. I suppose each time I'm draining their manpower. Mine as well though. Yeah, it's like I'm not even scratching the surface of that enemy army. Not killing anything useful. They just have too much technology edge over me. I'll have to send my army all the way to America to transport some of my troops just over here. Oh great, just what I needed. Essentially, Russia decided to declare war on me. What do they want exactly? Oh, you will be impressed, but what you will see. You will see essentially Russia completely crushing my entire empire in a very short amount of time. I don't even have any army that can sustain Russia technology. I think I actually won a battle somewhere. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, look at that. Russia invading. Might as well fire all my armies. That won't change anything. I think I will actually do that. Go away, army. You have no point in existing. Goodbye. Let's make money now. Okay, look at that. Russia is already sieging nearly everywhere. It's like being zerged. I'm not even sure what they are fighting me for. What do you want? Show superiority. Right. So essentially they have started a war against me just to show their superiority to me. So my best strategy is just to let them do it. While they are burning my entire country, I will simply repay my debt. That seemed to be a fair game, yeah. Oh wait. Somebody else decided to declare war on me, those guys here. Well, actually, my troops are supposed to be Western troops. So normally it's not that. It's really that my technology level in terms of warfare is outdated. I guess I should probably try to address that. I won't even bother to fight Russia. Anyway, 5 of their troops can probably destroy my entire manpower. The thing is that it's best for me to simply send my okay, what is that? Call to arm. Yeah, like I will join another war, sure. So the thing is, I'm best to just disband all my army because it will be a waste of manpower to actually fight Russia. So I'm just letting them conquer everything. And when the bad treatment will be done, I will rebuild my army. I think I will end up probably sending my armies into the colonies and just hide there. Like, is the storm gone now? Can we go back? Well, at least the thing is, I have the best technology for defense, so it's taking them a while. It's progressive. Yeah, that's really getting owned. But the thing is, I don't have the military army to do anything about that. So it's just, well, do whatever you want. You can burn the land, no problem. You're welcome. Conquer everything. Just do it faster so we can get on with it. Well, it seems that the rebellion here ended. Oh, it seemed to be done now? Or is it? Is there any territory which is not conquered yet, other than my colonies? You're stuck at 99% of your conquest because you don't have ships. Loser. Says the guy which nearly lost everything he conquered. Well, at least one of my war is over. It's against these guys here, I believe. Apparently my population is war exhausted. No, really? I don't know why. I think Russia is really puzzled about how to reach my further territory. It must be like, what are we doing? There's an ocean there. Shall we swim? Or, you know, what to do? Cannot build ships here. And the thing is that, you know, the Russia conquering my territory like that, it's not even the first time. So far it happened 3 times previously in this game. So they're just coming in and, you know, conquering everything. And then they're like, okay, well, pay that large amount of money and get back your territory and we don't care. We just wanted to crush you, you know. So that's why I decided to quickly disband all my armies. Since there is absolutely no point in trying to defend myself against Russia. What I could do is perhaps try to become a friend of the enemies of Russia. Friends seem pretty good. Ottoman Empire seem also hostile. Well, my army is not even good enough to defeat those guys here. Might be because of war exhaustion. What's funny right now is that when there's a rebellion on my territory, which is under occupation of the Russian government, well, essentially they are destroying the rebellion for me. So, should I remain at war? Those American rebellions seem to be getting stronger. Apparently Norway is colonizing Canada. I think Russia want way too much stuff from me. While the rebellion here are starting to be out of control. Yeah, this is way too many rebellion. Yeah, I guess I will have to seek peace no matter the terms. It seem to be... oh well, let's do that. No, I gave them a couple of province. Oh yeah, that's a lot of territory. My poor empire, you're destroying it. I think Russia wants to become Russia. Seems that I will have to do something with all those rebellions around. It's getting out of control. Seems that I will have to retake my colonial empire. I think my armies are so exhausted from the wars I'm having that they are unable to defeat even rebels. It's a bit concerning. Whoa, do you see that? 76 size army? What? Never saw that. This is a big army. Means 76,000 men. That will be nearly all my my manpower. I think all the rebels just disappeared all of a sudden. That's interesting. Well, I will need to go all the way to America to reconquer everything. That will be something. And they have an army which is insanely big. 65. Fortunately, attrition is helping me. Yeah, America and Africa. I need to reconquer everything, essentially. And I need to finish this war. I'm not too sure to win, or not so much win, but to finish that war against those guys here. I don't seem to have the capacity to finish it. Yeah, the fact that I'm constantly in war against the faction down there makes my army really ineffective. Okay, so I think I've been playing this for 2 hours, so that's pretty long. So I'll take a break now, and that's it for this live stream. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to see what happened next, make sure to tell me. And I'll see you around.